Welcome back, guys. This is Jason, KM4ACK. Today, I want to talk to you about blocking RF signals. Stick around, and we'll get right to it. Real quick before we get going today, I've got to give a shout out to these guys. They're my latest patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to help support the channel, I'll leave a link to Patreon down in the description below. Over the last several months, I have been doing more and more research on privacy or the lack thereof. And I'm really kind of focusing on these devices. This cell phone that we take with us every single day, everywhere we go, this thing is always with us. As I've done more and more research, I just don't like the fact of having a constant personal tracker in my pocket necessarily all the time. So I started looking at some convenient ways to limit what information could be tracked using my cell phone. Now, we can't eliminate all of it. I don't want to get rid of my cell phone, so leaving it at home is not an option. There's way too many conveniences that come with having a cell phone. But there may be times that I just don't want that phone to know exactly where I am, what I'm doing, and things of that nature. If you start doing a little bit of research on it, it can get quite scary on how much data is being absorbed each and every day just for advertising purposes. So I started looking around and trying to figure out some way that I could, it was still super convenient, but I could also limit what was going on with my phone. What I came up with was this device here. And this is called the Phone Shield, and it's made by Mission Darkness. So I wanted to open it up today and run it through a few tests and see how this bag performs. So on the outside, it's got a couple of little plastic pockets. I guess you can slide some business cards or something like that in it. I really don't care about that. What I did want to see was what does the inside of the bag look like? And how well does this thing work? So it seems to be pretty well made. It looks like it's made out of Cordura. I'm not sure what grade of Cordura that is. And it looks like it's fairly simple to operate. You simply slide your device in and roll it down. And apparently that's supposed to block the RF signals coming out of the cell phone. Let's go ahead and test this out and see what it looks like. So I've got two different cell phones here. I've got mine and my wife's cell phone. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take her cell phone. Well, it doesn't like my ID, so we'll have to enter a PIN code. Let's go ahead and call my phone, and I'll answer that. Oop. Microphones were entirely too close together. Sorry about that. But what I want to do is I'm going to take this and throw this in the bag, and from the initial test that I did, it'll take it about 60 seconds to disconnect. So let's go ahead. Let me see if I can get this phone in the frame of the second camera here. We'll go ahead and slide that into the bag, and we'll just leave it up. Now, like I said, it did take it, I did test this before I came on video with it, and it took it about 20 seconds. I did hear this phone disconnect. Her phone is still not showing that it's disconnected, but it's just kind of the way the cell phone technology works. There it goes, and it does say call failed. The cell phone is just going to retry several times before it finally gives up and disconnects. So it is definitely blocking the cellular signal on this on the phone. So another thing I wanted to test was I wanted to see this work for internet. So what I have on my phone is some software that I can do a speed test of your internet connection, Wi-Fi and cellular. We've already proved that the cellular data or the cellular connection dropped out, so that's going to apply for both cellular phone calls and cellular data. This will give us a test over Wi-Fi. So let me see if I can find my app here that's called Speed Test. And I will just go ahead. I've got this set. I'm going to go ahead and press the go on this. Now, as soon as I press go on this speed test, I'm going to go ahead and drop it in this bag. Hopefully we can see in this camera right up here in the top right that I do have full Wi-Fi signal where I'm sitting currently in the house. So let's go ahead and hit the go button. And as soon as I hit the go button, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the Mission Darkness bag. Now, this test it typically takes about 3 minutes. I believe it'll sit there and retry a couple of times. Again, I tested this before coming onto video, and I had no issues getting it to block all of the Wi-Fi signal. So if we give this just a couple of minutes here, when I pull it out of the bag, we should see that it says to check your internet connection and try again. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this out of the bag. And again, I'm going to try to keep it in frame of this second camera. And let's see what we have here on the screen. We'll go ahead and unlock that phone. And as you can see, hopefully without too much reflection, it does say error. Error can't reach speed test. Check your internet connection and try again. So we were successful in blocking the Wi-Fi connection using this particular bag. Now, last test I wanted to do on this bag was I wanted to do a GPS test. So I'm going to pull up Find My Friends, which is, if you're not an iPhone user, you might not be aware of. It's a GPS application that I can share my GPS coordinates with my wife. She can share hers with me, and we can pull each other up on a map at any given time and see where the other one is located. All right, so I do have her pulled up on the map here, and you can see that it says she is at home. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take her device this time and drop it into the bag and go ahead and roll the top down. Now, if we give that, again, a few minutes to cycle through, it does take it a few minutes for Find My Friends to drop off, because it'll just say that the data is, well, right now it's saying that the data is 1 minute old. But I will go ahead and try to refresh that in a minute after we've had it in this bag and see if Find My Friends is able to locate this device. Okay, so I've left the device sitting in the bag for about the last 5 minutes. Now, on Find My Friends, you'll notice that I can't, it does still show her, but it does show the age of the data as being 5 minutes old. You can see these others down below it that it has refreshed since then, and this one on the very bottom just refreshed as I was talking right now. So I believe this is just the way that the iPhone's Find My Friends works. Instead of showing no location, which it did when I was testing it earlier, but it may just be because I left it in this bag for a bit longer. But it hasn't been able to refresh the data for the location of her device because the phone has been in this bag the entire time. So would I recommend buying this bag if this is something that you were interested in? Yes, but only for blocking cell phone RF. And the reason I say that is I did some additional testing before I started the video where I put an HT in this bag, and I was able to easily key up the HT that was inside with another HT that was outside the bag. So this isn't going to give you any kind of coronal mass ejection or electromagnetic pulse protection for the devices inside. So that's not really its intended purpose, but it works great for blocking all of the signals out of a cell phone. So you'll have to decide if it's something you're interested in or not. I'll leave links to it down in the description below if you want to pick one up for yourself. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. Leave us a thumbs up before you head off. We'll see you guys on the next video. Until then, 7-3.